Geeks of the Week.
Hey dudes, this is Wednesday on Geeks of the Week. If you couldn't tell, I'm actually wearing my shirt for once. So, first of all, I'm filming this selfie style because I'm having zero patience with my phone today and it doesn't really want to, lay in a position where I can actually film without holding it. So, that's cool. You also might have noticed that, I got these on. I'm not gonna lie, it was mostly for shits and giggles myself at Katsucon, so I need to get practice in. These are pretty great. Now I know how Steph feels with her Vulcan eyebrows, except these are far more intense, and I didn't have to shave my actual eyebrows off. Mario. You talked about Sin City. I don't really care about Sin City, so I'm sorry. I'm touching my wig because it desperately needs some love and needs to be brushed out, so I'm gonna multitask. And Mario mentioned my best friend Barracuda, which makes me happy because she's a big fan of the show, and I think Mario is actually her favorite geek. It's not actually me. Nikki asked us a question, so she's all super hyped up about the Sailor Moon reboot. I'm not, because remember, it's my job to hate everything that other people like on the show. Okay, I don't actually hate Sailor Moon, I just never really got into it as a kid. Like most kids, I did grow up watching Toonami a little bit, but I only watched it for Dragon Ball Z. And so I did see Sailor Moon a few times as a kid, and I liked what I saw, but I never really was able to watch it, so I just never got into it. And I've tried several times now that I'm older to get into it, and I just can't. So I am looking forward to the reboot in the sense that I'm hoping it'll be a more in line with what I've heard about the manga, it being more mature and better is the other word I'm looking for. So I will most likely be watching it. I'm just not shitting my pants over it like the rest of the world is. And Nikki asked us what was the first anime we watched all the way through. And like Steph mentioned, being able to watch an entire series like back in that time was way more difficult than it is now, because now you can just go on Crunchyroll and Hulu and marathon an entire series in a day. And I wasn't as into anime as a kid just because I didn't really have access to a ton of it, so I wasn't able to watch very much when I was younger. I definitely remember borrowing a bunch of Dragon Ball Z VHSs and things like that. So it definitely wasn't until I was older that I finished a series for the first time, and I think the first series I ever finished, because this was the series that got me back into anime and into cosplay, was the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, as it's technically called Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, which is pretty much what we all know in America. 'Cause yeah, that's what got me back into anime, and I'm pretty sure I've seen every single episode. And I own the movie. No shame. So I think that's the first anime I ever really finished. And then Steph asked us something. Shit. Give me a second. Oh my god. I'm so tired already. Steph, what did you ask us? Oh, Steph asked us if there was a particular character that we felt was really, like, basically us in fictional form. I feel like I've discussed this before on the show. I've probably said it a million times, and if you know me, this is no surprise. But me in fictional form, actually, more accurately, I am the real-life Ramona Flowers, pretty much. Back when the Scott Pilgrim movie first came out, I had no idea what Scott Pilgrim was because I was still kind of getting into nerdy stuff really getting into nerdy stuff for the first time. So I I was actually out of town at the time when the movie came out. My boyfriend went to see it at midnight, and he got home, he called me, and did not even take him 5 minutes to say, you need to cosplay Ramona. Like, we are basically Ramona and Scott. You have to do this. And I actually, well, I was in San Diego at the time, and we happened to find a little comic book shop. And so I picked up, I think, the first 3 volumes of Scott Pilgrim, and I just devoured them and immediately loved Ramona so much. She and I have kind of the same sort of really dry, sarcastic sense of humor, and we're kind of like that just all the time. And I also liked that she was drawn not to be super skinny and actually have thick thighs like I do. And she's also bisexual, which was something I'd never seen in a character ever. And I liked that it wasn't made like a huge part of her character, but it was part of her. And you know, the kind of the relationship she has with Scott, like, even though she's much colder, she's not as cold in the books as she is in the movies. I'd like to make that point. I wrote an entire paper about this, I'm not kidding. But the way she and Scott kind of interact, where Scott's super goofy all the time and Ramona is just kind of like, you're adorable, but can you not, is basically exactly how my boyfriend and I are. I really love Scott Pilgrim. Anyway, other news in the anime world, since everybody else is freaking out about Sailor Moon coming back, I'm actually really excited about another series coming back that I guess it hasn't been gone that long, but in honor of the fact that the series, at least the original light novels themselves, are 10 years old, there we go. It was announced last week that one of my all-time favorite series, Da 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 Da, is getting a second season, which is pretty huge for me, because, man, okay, so Duro was like the first series I ever got like really scarily heavily into. It was actually kind of like my first Kill la Kill phase in the sense that I did 3 cosplays from it. I'm definitely gonna do more from Kill la Kill, but I did 3 cosplays from it. Most of them before the series was even over, and I normally don't cosplay from things until they're over or at least more developed. But I just loved that series that much. Probably the biggest reason I'm really happy the series is getting a second season is because the light novels have not really been translated, and that's honestly what I want more than anything, is to be able to read the original story, but that sort of thing just isn't really all that popular in America, and it's too big of a project for really a fan translation. So, second season of the show is really awesome, and I'm excited for it. So, that's what I'm excited for. Not excited for Kill la Kill ending next week. Let's not talk about that, because it's going to emotionally wreck me. I think that's all I have to say. I'm pretty brain dead right now, so I'm going to go do mindless things until I can pass out. So, thank you for joining me here on Geeks of the Week. The logo's on the back of my shirt, but I can't really turn around to show it. So, thank you for joining me on this lovely Wednesday, and watch Kill la Kill tomorrow, and cry with me about it, and I'll see you guys next week.